Hey there, Internet. How's it going? I'm your boy John from John Grave Show, and today I'm basically just looking over some articles today. And today, this one came out like 3 days ago. It was new consoles, online gaming, keeping market soaring for 2007. And apparently, now I can assume from that title that it's mostly just talking about how online gaming is basically becoming the being like the go-to market for all of our gaming needs, and like how most games such as like the handheld market, all those share 22% of blah blah blah. And it's mostly talking about how like that all the online gaming is possibly going to be like, well, that's our go-to thing. Everybody nowadays, they really like playing games online. Nobody really all the offline modes of gaming are basically starting to like die out, and everything started possibly soaring more towards free to play gaming and so on and so forth. And I do have to admit that in terms of like how the recent years of gaming have been going, or at least like ever since online gaming was basically introduced during when Xbox Live came out, and when Phantasy Star for the for the Dreamcast, and all the good stuff for the PlayStation 2, and its its short-lived online little features. But ever since that moment, people really kind of have been getting into playing the game online. And this is, and I'm not even counting like PC gaming of like people playing EverQuest and so on and so forth. But in terms of like how online gaming really has been affecting the market over the past few years, people really have been kind of like gravitating way more towards online play, mostly because nobody really wants to go over anyone else's house anymore. No one wants to go over a friend's house and play a game. Nobody wants to basically just play a calm game offline and just enjoy the story mode. No one does that anymore. Mostly people just because here's like the prime example of that. People when they get like some of the older arcade games, which that they are now starting to re-release on networks, people really gravitate towards like the older games, but they only play them if they have like an online mode, and they only play the online mode for like a little bit just so that they can get their fix of that game, and then they stop playing. And mostly people just sort of just gravitate way more to the online play because, like I said, nobody really wants to go over anyone's house anymore. No one really wants to like be bothered with like another person just sitting right next to them and they play a game, really. And no one really even tries, man, to really even say, hey, yo, man, you swing by my place and let's play like old school 2-player game or something like that, or like just get all the people together and we all play like a 4-player game, or let's play Sky Pilgrim with like everybody in the room together. Like Sky Pilgrim versus the World was honestly going to get I honestly got marks against it because it didn't have an online mode. It was a fun game, it just didn't have online, which that's kind of where it got most of his marks from. Now, in terms of like the offline mode of gaming, like I just said, nobody really wants to deal with that. Now, this is something that you can read over the article yourself. I'm going to put it in the description, but this is something that did honestly kind of like have me that did kind of like put some things into perspective for people who usually like play their consoles and play on cell phones and play on handhelds that do have online. It put a lot of that into perspective, solely because a lot of people today they really don't play games offline anymore, or better yet, they don't just sit down and just play a game with like friends or whatever. They play games online with other people. Now, I know some people are really gonna like tell me, it's like, well, yeah, man, I play RPGs, I play games alone all of the time. But that's the thing, is that like you are in the minority. You are not in the majority. Majority of people play games online. Minority of people, such as the person who's telling me that they play online, that they play RPGs or play games like solo or whatever because they don't like playing games with other people. You are technically in the minority, and you kind of don't fit in with what they're saying. It's like a lot more people do it than what other people have said. But this puts some things into perspective, and yeah, this isn't necessarily, I mean, like, it's sad to see it, but, or at least like how I grew up with gaming, with me being, with me and having other people say, hey man, we'll swing by and just play I mean, you want to play Super Nintendo, but in terms of now, this puts some things into perspective, and it's kind of sad to see it, but hopefully this turns out for the better. You guys let me know what you think about this subject, and yeah, you know, please rate, comment, subscribe, and yeah, go ahead and check it out. Or at least from what this is saying, or at least from what the article was saying, was that everything is taking off and skyrocketing because online modes are actually kind of like the go-to thing. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Please rate, comment, subscribe, share this video up on all my on all your favorite media sites, and thank you for supporting my channel.